Hey everybody, Pastor Frank coming to you live via a recorded message. Hope you're doing well on this spectacular late February day. Gosh, what a difference a week makes, right? Last week we were bundled up and it was, 14 degrees or whatever, but today it's 75 degrees and sunny. Who knows? I want to stop by and remind you, if you didn't know, that the season of Lent is coming up starting next Wednesday, Ash Wednesday, March the 5th. We will have opportunities to receive ashes that morning as well as in the evening. So at 8:30, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock or so, I'll be out on the front steps of the church. Did this last year, dispensing ashes to parents dropping their kids off at school, or church people who weren't able to come to the service at night came through to receive ashes. And so that's an option for you next Wednesday at 8:30, or that evening at 6 o'clock, we'll have a worship service in the sanctuary that will feature, singing, prayers, and the imposition of ashes as well. The ashes are a sign of our mortality and remind us that our lives belong to God. Lent is a time of spiritual growth, a kind of reconnection with God in preparation for the celebration of Easter, which is April 20th this year. So Lent is 40 days long. If you get off your calendar and you count them out, it's actually 46 days, but technically Sundays are not included in Lent. So people, sometimes give up the stuff or they'll take on stuff. And I wanted us to think about Lent in a different perspective this year. I've got this book in front of me, Calendar, by Dr. Lawrence Hull Stuckey, who was a professor of worship at Wesley Theological Seminary. And he asks questions like this that kind of help us to think about our faith and how we are growing or not, and how Lent can help us kind of address those issues in our faith. What progress am I making in sharing gladly what I have with others, particularly with the stranger and the poor? What attitudes do I convey to those who irritate me? How can awareness of my own need of God's grace enable me to be more gracious to them? How has my sense of interconnectedness in corporate worship grown of late? And how can I move ahead in appreciating the contributions and needs of other members in the congregation to which I belong? Am I as charitable and thoughtful to family members as to others? Or do I take it out on my family when life at school or work gets hectic? Can I redistribute my long-range personal budget in order to have more money to give away? Am I, by my consistent attendance at worship, a witness to others of the worthiness of the God I follow? Or am I, by my sporadic attendance, suggesting that God is worth serving sometimes and not others? It's kind of tough questions there. But that's what Lent is about. It's about growing in our faith and doing those practices that help us. Our sermon series during Lent is going to be from the book of James, which is a little epistle toward the end of the New Testament. If you've never read it, it's only, 6 chapters long. And James is, sort of confrontational. Like, James is very, very clear that we are meant to balance our faith and our works. It's not just what we believe, it's also what we do. And what we do ought to reflect what we believe. So James is very much in our face about how we live out our faith. And that's going to be our theme for Lent, faith in action. In addition to the worship series, I will also offer a Bible study on the book of James that will be an online-only study. And it'll be on Thursdays, beginning March 13th. It'll be held at noon and 6 p.m. So you can choose which one, or you can bounce back and forth if you want, week to week. But you need to register for the study so that I will know which link to send you so that you can join into the study. Interesting thing about the study is that it is designed by ChatGPT, which is an AI resource that's available. I've been wanting to kind of experiment with it, and I've used it for other things like create a workout program or create an itinerary to somewhere on a trip. This is the first time I've used it to create a Bible study, though. And so as we're working through the book of James, we'll be able to ask the question, did the AI do a good job? Is this a good study? It's from a Wesleyan perspective. And I think it will pose interesting questions for us. So as we begin the season of Lent, I invite you to participate in Ash Wednesday, receive those ashes, but also take a step this year to deepen your faith, to challenge where you are spiritually. And that may be to pick up a practice that you're not familiar with or haven't done for a while. A new Bible study, fasting during the time of Lent, regular attendance, making sure you come every Sunday during Lent. All those things are important practices that help us to grow in our faith. This coming Sunday will be a great Sunday here at the church. We are wrapping up our Dangerous Women of the First Testament series, Pastor Rose Danny preaching on the book of Esther. And following worship, we will have our annual Fat Sunday pancake jazz breakfast fiesta, whatever we call it, following worship. So look forward to that. On Sunday morning as well, we will hear from our board of trustees about a new digital sign that we're installing outside by the street. And we'll be hearing from our discernment team talking about possible changes to the church's leadership structure. So a couple of things to be thinking about as we approach worship this week. I will look forward to seeing you then as we begin the season of Lent on Ash Wednesday and throughout March and April. Let's prepare to celebrate Easter when it arrives on April 20th. All right, bye for now, and we'll see you soon.